Okay, it's Montana Air Gunner here again, and on this video we're gonna have a look how to disassemble and assemble the Hatsan Flash. So stay tuned. Okay, so we got the Hatsan Flash here on a gun vise. We have checked that it's not cocked. So by this. So there is no cock in there, and we're gonna put it into safe mode, and we just have it on the gun vise now safely. And before we start to work with this at all, the most important thing is to depressurize the air cylinder, and I'm gonna show you guys here how to check it. So normally the Hatsan Flash has a air manometer here, and there is a small screw just next to it, and when you loosen it up you will actually depressurize the air cylinder. And on my Hatsan Flash I've upgraded it with a BT65 air cylinder, so it actually has two air manometers. So this is before the regulator, it shows the full air cylinder's pressure, and this shows the regulator's set pressure. So at the moment it's about 130 bar. Just shows a little bit more than what it is, but I have set it to be 130, and hopefully I can get this camera back on here on the tripod so we can actually start degassing it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a normal screwdriver and just set it there, and we're gonna turn it not clockwise, but we're gonna loosen it up, so counterclockwise. So counterclockwise, and when you start hearing the hissing, as you can hear now, we'll just open it up a little bit more and let it start to bleed out. So there we go. I'll show it to you what it is doing. So let's put a little bit of light. So there we go with the light. So that's for the regulator side, and this is for the unregulated side. So little by little we're starting to drop on the pressure. It's all nice and dandy, and we can have it to go a little bit faster. So we're just gonna, let's try to get it first to the threads. Come on, there we go. And you don't have to do a lot, just like 15 minutes a quarter turn should be okay. And now we're just gonna wait for it to go empty. Okay, so now we can hear that there's not enough pressure anymore, so it actually doesn't seal anymore on the air valve. And we can hear that the rest of the air is actually getting released through the barrel. So that's one thing that we're gonna have to keep in mind, that we need to have enough pressure to actually seal the pin to the valve seat. So there's still some air left on the main tube side. Okay, so we'll get out from there. So now it seems to be pretty much everything is now depressurized, so we're gonna start to take the screws from the action. Okay, and this wasn't the right tool for it, so another one. There we go. Number 2 pH. So now we're gonna take the 2 action screws off, or just unscrew them. So there we go. It actually now dropped the whole action in there, but let's not worry about it. This is a very handy tool, a magnet, to get those ones collected from there. Let's see. This is the reason why you need the magnet, for not letting that happen. And now we're just gonna lift it up from the action, and there you go. Set that aside, and I'm gonna search for the screw. I saw it where it went. There we go. Found it, so don't let that happen. Let's put it into safekeeping. And then we're gonna take off the barrel band. Go. And now when we know that there is no air left anymore on the air cylinder, we can actually now tighten it back up, and now we can actually remove the air cylinder from the action. So I'll show the two screws there. So there's that screw, and that screw is what we're gonna unscrew now. And take actually a couple of pictures about it too, so you can see. And just go and get the Allen keys. Okay, we're back with the 2mm Allen key, and what we are going to do is we're just gonna unscrew them. And remember to have a good place where you're gonna put these ones, the grub screws. Don't lose them. It's a pain in the bum to try to find them back where they are, or then find a replacement screw, so don't do that. So now we got both of them there, and the easiest way what I've found out how to get the air tube off is just to wiggle it a little bit and then pull it out. There you go. So what I would recommend, not to touch the pin, because it's pretty well seated there. So don't try to mess it up unless you want to change all of the O-rings while you're doing this. Otherwise you will have problems with seating it. So just one thing to keep in mind while you're removing it and just doing like a cleanup or something. Don't mess around with it. and remember to protect it somehow. So how I usually have it protected is I set it aside so I don't accidentally bump it, and that's what I'm gonna do now. And then let's continue with the barrel. So okay, so now we finally got the scope ring taken off. So now I'll just show you guys that next one on the line are these two screws, and we're just gonna untighten them. And I'll take a quick picture just from here so you guys can see. There we go. And just normal stuff. There's a longer or higher grub screw which is on the front. So just remember that it's there, and it goes to the front. So we untighten that one, and then we're gonna untighten the back one. So now we got both of them. And as I said previously, don't lose them. It's a pain in the bum to trying to find them. I'll find a replacement. So now we're ready to take off the barrel, and what I would recommend is just to wiggle it just a little bit, and then it should come off just like that. And there we go. So now we got the action separated from the barrel, and here you can see the action like fittings to the on the barrel, and this transfer port is open to 180 thousandths. Yeah, and otherwise it's just a normal barrel. So let's put that one there. Next on the menu for cleaning this, if you want to clean it, I would say that just tap these two off, and then you're able to open this hammer spring screw, and it is tightened with this one. So undo this one, then you can get this one off. And yeah, so that's how you disassemble this, and I'll show you more closely how to do this one. So okay, so we got from the wheeler set a punch, and we're just gonna punch these two pins from the trigger assembly, what's holding it together. So there we go with one, and there we go with the other one. And this way, if you have a proper punch, you don't damage anything. So just one thing to keep in mind. So we got the first one, there we go, and then we're gonna dig out for the second one. It's here all mangled up. There we go, there's the second one. And when you're taking this trigger assembly off, you can see from here, so this is the trigger assembly, you can set it on the side. There's a little ball, and then there's a spring, so don't lose these. So a magnet, you got both of them really nicely, and then you can just set them to the side. So let's put this one here. There we go. Very fine tools. So next on the menu, we have unscrewed, untightened this grub screw. So now we can actually get this one off. let's just get it with this one. And don't have the action cocked, because otherwise the hammer spring will come off flying. So there you have it. This is the hammer spring screw. And then what I would do next is I would take the cocking lever off, because otherwise you can't get the whole assembly off. So that's what I should be doing next. You can get the hammer spring off just by dropping it. That's an easy thing to do. So next on the menu we have the cocking lever, and of course I put some blue Loctite on there, so it'll be a little bit more difficult to get it off, but it should be doable. Yeah, it's just a little bit tight because of the Loctite, blue Loctite. So I would recommend always, if you have this problem that it comes loose, so put a little bit of blue Loctite in there, and that should solve the problem. So there we have it. Let's just put that aside. And now the next thing is that we can just basically we get everything in one go like this. Very, very easy. So now I have to get some blue tabs and set them to the blue tabs, because otherwise this will be very dirty. Okay, so off we go. So here you have it. This is a very good representation of the exploded picture, how it is assembled. And let's go through the parts a little bit, so you all can understand a little bit better. So we started out with the air cylinder. We took it off, we degassed it and took it off. Then this is the barrel and air tube band. Then second one was the barrel that we took off. And as I said, there's 2 grub screws for the barrel, there's 2 grub screws for the air cylinder, and then we punched out the trigger assembly. There's 2 punches here, you can see. Then there's the trigger, and when we took off the trigger we needed to take the small spring and ball also off from there. Then we took out the charging handle that is Loctite a little bit into it. Then after that we loosened this grub screw. Then we took out the hammer spring screw, and then we could slide the whole assembly out. And you can take this hammer spring off or leave it with the assembly, it doesn't matter, it comes off when you slide it out. So there you basically have it. This is the whole shenanigans, so to say. And now it's all in pieces. And next steps would be then to do the maintenance you need to do, cleaning or stuff like that. And then you can put it back together. So yeah, stay tuned.